Hi, this is Don Funk from Advanced Spine and Wellness in Bozeman, Montana, and I'm going to talk to you this morning about compensation patterns. Compensation patterns are extremely interesting, but let me tell you how I arrived at this point. Several years ago, I got so burnt out on human chiropractic that I just wanted to do animal chiropractic. So I went and I got my certification in equine chiropractic and canine chiropractic. Then I started training horses full-time, and what I found is that if a colt, a young horse, was injured in any way when it was between 1 and 2 years old, the chances of that horse moving perfectly as a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and moving on becoming a great show horse was not very likely. Because what happened is the horse started moving differently. They started moving in ways that would compensate for their injury. So let's say a horse got caught in a wire fence, or stepped in a gate, or injured its shoulder. Well, that didn't move quite correctly anymore, and it either took a tremendous amount of training or to get that horse fixed in the first 60 days after the injury, or chances are that horse would learn to move in ways that would not allow it to work at its optimum. So that's where this compensation pattern idea got into my head. Other people have been talking about it for a while, but that's how it got into my head. And that's what reignited my passion for human chiropractic. I could finally understand how could somebody that, all the neurological tests and the orthopedic tests were normal, how could they still have pain? Well, the problem is that their body adapted to previous injuries. Sometimes it was something as simple as twisting an ankle or a sprain. I had a patient the other day who had a motorcycle accident back in 1975, and his left leg never quite recovered the balance, strength, and coordination that his right leg did. Because of that, this gentleman didn't walk with a limp. He walked perfectly fine. But if you asked him to balance on his left leg, he would catch his balance very quickly. If you asked him to balance on his right leg, he could do it for several minutes without a problem. So what's going on there? The strength was the same in both legs. The muscle mass was the same in both legs. The problem was the nerves from his left foot were not connected to his brain and back to his pelvis very effectively. So what we need to do in that situation is help the body overcome that compensation pattern. We need to improve the neurological function in that foot and that ankle and that pelvis so that they fire synchronously. Because most of us, we aren't so weak that we have muscle problems and back pain and neck pain. The problem is that the muscles aren't firing in the right order and the right sequence. My job is to make sure that the joints function properly, because the function of the muscles depend on the integrity of the joints. So first we have to make sure the joints work properly. Then we can make sure the muscles fire properly. And we have a whole series of particular types of treatments and a very unique type of exercise to help reinforce and change and improve the connection between that foot, that knee, the hip, the brain, and back to the hip. So our next video, we're going to be talking about functional movement patterns and ways to correct some of this back pain, neck pain, and physical ailments that people keep coming with.